So we're going to start from whoever I see first, which is Wendy.
Okay.
Great.
So,
okay. So you have
okay.
1 minute, and Anastasia is checking the time.
Okay. So, hello everybody. My name's Wendy Lehman. I'm a fashion stylist and personal shopper. I'm originally from London, but I've been semigrating for about the last 15 years. My born to do, the business that I'm focusing on for the purposes of this strategic planning is absolutely my personal style business, and my niche is very much the middle-aged woman. So I'm particularly focusing on mothers of the bride, mothers of the groom, mothers and grandmothers of the mitzvah and bat mitzvah children. Really, people who have reached a certain age, have lost their joie de vivre when it comes to building their wardrobe, and are looking for help with that. I'm happy to be here because actually, although obviously what's going on outside is terrible, it's really been very special for me to have this time to just focus on my business without any of the day-to-day distractions of that crowd our lives normally. So I've really taken the positive out of this very difficult situation. And whilst obviously I want this to end as quickly as possible for everybody, the opportunity to focus on my business has been fabulous. That's my minute.
Woo! Great. I love that Anastasia is the timekeeper, so I get to be the good guys. Okay, Chava, you're next on my screen, please.
Okay. Hi, I'm Chava from Horowitz. Can you hear me? I've never used these headphones before.
Okay. Perfectly.
I live in Kiryat Tivon, which is up north in Israel. I am a copywriter and content writer, and I'm happy to be here a little bit for the opposite reason of Wendy. I'm coming off maternity leave and was expecting to be very much focusing on building my business now and rethinking strategy, and with everything that's going on and kids home and stuff like that, this is really the only time is this hour and a half that I have to do that. So that's exciting. It's sort of helping me reconnect to myself outside of this pandemic.
Thank you so much, Chava. We're very happy you're here. And Wendy, we're very happy you're here too, not because I didn't say it. Thank you so much. Tamar, you're next on my screen. Yeah.
Okay, my name is Tamar Freudman. I'm an interior designer. I'm originally from Germany. So I renovate buildings, offices, clinics, mostly private homes. And I'm very happy to be here to continue the process of building making my business more successful. And even in these times, trying to shut out what happens outside and just to focus on the business.
Great.
That's
Thank
less
you
than
so
a
much.
minute.
Less than a minute. You have extra credit for whenever.
Look at my background.
And look at your background. Exactly. Yeah, we're all very jealous of your background. You have to teach us all. Okay, Stephanie, you're next on my screen.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Stephanie Cable. I'm the CEO of LiveEnglish.net. It's an online language school. We teach English to professionals, mainly in Europe. And I've been doing this for about 15 years now. And I live in Jerusalem. I'm originally from France, and I've been in Israel for the last 16, 17 years. And I'm happy to be here because it's always a pleasure to go to these calls with Natalie and the group. So I hope we're gonna have an opportunity to bring more energy to the day and to the week and to the quarter also, and make sure that we go on the right path.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you. Sarah, you are next on my screen. Hello.
Hi, everyone. I was going to run and get my props, but I'm not going to. You can watch my video on the closed group if you want. I'm Sarah Halevi. I'm a cognitive behavioral therapist, and I'm a fibromyalgia specialist. And I've just published 3 books on fibromyalgia, and so I'm very excited to be here because today begins my marketing marathon for my business. Is that I am creating an online training program for practitioners, physicians, social workers, therapists, to treat fibromyalgia, which is a very complex and difficult condition to treat. Just to give you some perspective, if they're saying that 1% of the world population will have coronavirus, 6% of the world population has fibromyalgia.
Wow.
So even though it doesn't feel quite as desperate right now, it's an enormous problem. It's very underdiagnosed and undertreated. And so I'm really excited to be here just to really plunge into the next phase of my business.
Yes, yes, yes. And congratulations on your book, Sarah. This is so
this
amazing.
response has been incredible. Like,
oh,
really.
I saw in the few posts that I saw on Facebook, it was already amazing. So it's really emotional. Really, really happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great. Gregory, you are next on my screen. Hello.
Hello. So I'm Gregory. I'm from Belgium. So I'm French speaker. I don't live in Israel, and I will stay in Belgium for a long time, I think. So I'm a happy father of 3 kids, and thanks to the television, my house is still for the moment. Well, I was in the military during 20 years, and I create a new job with thanks to Natalie, and now I'm a corporate coach. It means that I'm working with manager and leaders in companies, and especially I help them during the transformation of their company. And I'm more focused on the mindset, and mostly on the mindset about security. I help them to transform their organization around security in a good manner, and to keep humans in the center of their project. Well, I'm very happy to be here because I had a very big contract in January and February on Brussels airport, and for the moment everything is stopped. So I lost my contract, so I have to start from scratch, and it's not the first time that I have to start from scratch. I had a lot of up and downs, and that's one of my specialty, I think, is to never give up. So I'm very pleased to be here today to find new ideas and to have this the sphere of the community. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Gregory. Thank you for being here. Michelle, you are next on my screen. Hello.
Hi, everyone. My name is Michelle Friedman. I'm originally from South Africa. I live in Hod HaSharon in Israel today. I've been in Israel for just over 22 years. What do I do? I'm CEO of Michelle's Learning Center, which teaches English to children specifically. Also do life coaching, which involves mainly time management. And I'm very happy to be here because I love these days from the point of view that they really give me focus for not only now, but going into the next quarter, which is so important, particularly at the moment with the whole current situation. So I'm happy to see what I'm going to get out of it today. So thank you, Natalie.
Yes, thank you, Michelle. Anastasia, you are next on my screen.
Hello everyone. I'm Anastasia. I'm Natalie's business manager, and I think I met almost all of you, maybe except Marlene. I was in Israel last year when we had our Born to Do retreat, and I met with Gregory and Stephanie and Michelle in person even. And I'm happy to be here because it's always a pleasure to be here on this call and to connect with your energy and to hear all your wins.
Thank you, Anastasia. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you for your help. Debbie, you are next. Oh, sorry. Oh, no, it's moving. Well, I said Debbie, so Debbie.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yes, you're.
Can you hear me? I don't know if it worked. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. So I'm really happy to be here, first of all, because I feel like I need help. Like in this situation, it's totally crazy. And I think most of us are trying to figure out what do we do first and how to do it. Sorry, before that, my name is Debbie Zimmelman, and I live in Modi'in. I'm from the States, and I've been here for 35 years. And what I do is, thanks to Natalie, I have 2 successful Airbnbs in Modi'in. And I'm also a photographer, and I recently published a book, and my book tour is in next month in America, which I spent many months organizing, and obviously I'm not going to go, but I'm here to figure out what to do, and so I'm really happy to have help to figure it all out.
Wow, great. So happy to have you, Debbie. Great that you can join. Ani, you are next.
Hi.
Hey.
I'm Ani Schiffmiller. And where am I from? I'm basically living Jewish history backwards. I grew up in a small town in Connecticut, spent 20 years in New York, and for the last 17, I'm in Israel. I am a tour guide and the owner of Israel with Love Tour Guiding Services. And I am happy to be here because with everything going on, it feels good to be with a group of people who are trying to look forward.
Amazing. Thank you, Ani. Thank you so much. Michal, you are next. Yes.
Hi, everyone. I am Michal K. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Where am I from? Made Aliyah from Canada. I have a bunch of other citizenships, but they're not important. And I've been here about 12 years, will be in July. What do? I am owner and I plan events for clients from abroad and Anglo clients who live in Israel. Bar mitzvahs, weddings, bat mitzvahs. Those are my core group of people. And I also now have been doing coordinating a lot of their touring as well. It's just nice to communicate with people. I've been in Bidud. I've been in quarantine since last Tuesday when I'm like going on 12 days by myself, me and my cat. So it's just nice to be with other people. And honest, at this point in the events industry, and Ani can tell you, I'm trying to think forward. It's really, really hard because we just don't know when it's going to end and when people are going to be able to travel again. And it's constantly like, are things moving? Are things getting canceling? So just to be here right now is just trying to think forward. And I've been ill, so I don't know if I've had whatever. It's been fun. It's been a fun week.
Wow. Well, we're very happy that you're here, Michal. Great. Congratulations for making it. Great. Very happy. Marlene, you are next on my screen. Hello, Marlene. You want me to unmute? Or yeah,
there you go.
Great.
Hi, everybody. Marlene Zusman. I'm from DC, but I've been in Israel for 22 years. I'm an interior designer. And I'm very happy to be here because I'm also in quarantine. I should have the results in a couple of days, but hopefully it's just allergies and nothing else. But I'm really happy to be here because it's been really hard for me to stay motivated and positive, and very thankful to my accountability buddy to kick me in the butt every once in a while. So.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about accountability buddies. Okay, Deborah, where are you? I don't see you on my screen, but I know you're here. Where is she? Deborah, is she here? No, I saw her. Deborah? I have to scroll down because I'm sharing my screen. No? Anastasia, do you see her? I saw her before.
I also saw her before, yes, but now she left.
Oh, she left. Okay, so she's probably going to be back. Okay, guys. So The reason why I don't see all of you at the same time is because I'm sharing my screen. So I'm seeing, you know, all of you on the side of my screen. And this is also why if you have any questions, I'm going to invite you to use the chat, and Anastasia is going to help me monitor the questions. And what we're going to do is we're going to have first part of this strategic planning day, which is going to be putting ourselves in a context, talking about mindset, talking about what's happening, and talking about what are we expecting from our business in those times. And then we're going to have a more interactive part where you're going to be able to have your spreadsheets open, and I'm going to put you in breakout rooms. It's going to be a lot of fun because you're going to be able to work with your ADs. And we're going to make it more interactive, and then to come out of this strategic planning day online workshop session with very clear goals for our business for the next 3 months. So first of all, I would like to start with a big congratulations, and I want everyone to unmute themselves and to clap really, really, really hard. Michal, you're not clapping. Thank you. Because guys, you being here is amazing. Okay, I am really proud of you because not easy. We have tons of reasons not to be here. We have, for some of us, kids. Some of us, we just want to stay in bed. Some of us, we don't want to come out of, you know, don't want to talk about our business. You know, it's scary. A lot of things are happening around us, and we could really decide not to look at reality, and we can really decide not to be here today, and you have decided to be here. And I think that this just shows how motivated you are. It shows how strong you are inside, and it shows how you're not going to let what's happening outside, you know, influence your mindset, or at least you're going to fight it. And this is really, really special. I know a lot of people are not doing this, so I really want you to really appreciate the step that you're making, and every time that you're doing an effort, you really have to be really appreciating of this. So I think this is amazing that you're here. We have tomorrow morning also, we'll speak about other things, and this is really going to give you the push that you're waiting for and the clarity, and to make the decisions that you need to make. Let's talk about a little bit of, I sent an email, I posted it on Facebook before we start. I just want to make sure that everyone has, you know, read it and everything. If you have headphones, it's better to use headphones, that you have pen and paper next to you, that you have something to drink, that your computer is connected to electricity, that you're closing all outside applications if you have anything open. And during the call, if you can put yourself on mute, obviously, if you have something to say, we'll have interactive, but this is how we need to structure our call. And for those of you who want to go online, those are the kind of things that you have to think about, okay, before you go online, is all those little technical things that you have to help people really be aware. Some of us have been on Zoom for years. For some of us, it's still new. And so we need to really be aware of all those things. And if you have kids around, of course, it's easier if you can sit in a room with no really distractions, but really for you, not for us, because you can, you know, leave the Zoom if you have to. But for you, this is a time that we want you to focus on your business, and it's really going to be important for the months to come. A few logistic points. So what you should have open is your spreadsheet, the first one that I sent you, the goal plan spreadsheet, not the financial projection. So have it open on your desktop so that when we work on it, it will be ready. I also sent a list of who is with whom in terms of accountability buddies, and we'll see if some people are missing. Maybe we'll readjust the team. There is a recording that will be available, so don't worry about that. It will be sent to you and available on our member site. And the request reads the schedule. I already asked you if you can be a little bit flexible so that, because we're already running late, guys. We should have finished the presentation by 10:10. It's 10:23. So this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how to plan in this global crisis. Most of you have spoken about it in your presentation. Obviously, it's in everyone's mind. Doesn't matter if we run away from it for a few minutes, we still have this, you know, very present in our mind. We're going to do a small visualization exercise because we want to have the opportunity to go inside of ourselves and to connect with our inner being and our, what I call our treasure box. That's really, really important to really connect to our mindset. We're going to talk about the 50 ways to cash that most of you really enjoyed, the exercise that was fun. We're going to talk about where are you in your business today, what worked until now, and then this is the main part of the strategic planning day, because some of it you should have done before for those of you who had time to do the homework. But the 90-day goal plan tab and spreadsheet is what we're going to talk about today. Meaning not talk about, but this is our goal. This is what we need to really focus on, so that at the end of today we have 3 main goals that we are going to dedicate for Q2 with all the projects that are inside each of the goals. And then we are going to wrap up the session. So let's start with what is happening in this global crisis. And I already see a typo, I'm not sure, sometimes it's English, sometimes it's American spelling, whatever. So what is happening in this global crisis? So here are a few things that you might recognize yourself, and it's really important to acknowledge and to connect with your feelings and to be able to really pinpoint what you're feeling. So you might be worried that your revenue is going to decrease in the months to come. For those of you who have activities that are directly related to, traveling or to people coming to Israel, like Ani with tour guiding, or like Michal with event planning. But some of us also might be worried about our revenue just because, like Debbie said, we can't travel, we can't do a book tour, or we're not sure how people are going to react. We might be scared that our existing client might not be able to honor their engagement because everything around us is really, people are, losing their jobs or reducing the hours. And so there is fear around that as well. We might have also a fear that people will not have money to spend and will not buy our services and products. Okay, so the point here is not to get us depressed. The point here is to really acknowledge and pinpoint what is the fear that is the most present for you. And if you look at this list, try to see which one is the one that is more present, because that's the one we need to really attack in terms of mindset, right? So the more specific you're going to be, the more we're going to be able to know how to approach your mindset or your beliefs around the crisis that's happening. Some of it is true, some of it is in our mind, some of it is our fears coming back, and some of it we can fight different ways. You might want to stop all your investments and say, that's it, I'm not investing in my business, because we don't know what tomorrow is made of. So we need to understand if this is the mindset that you have and know how to work around that mindset shift. Or you might also say, I'm going to reduce all my costs. I'm going to fire everyone in my team. I'm going to stop using all the tools I've been using, all the services I've been using, because I don't know what's going to be tomorrow. Okay, so again, this is why you have a pen and paper. While you're seeing this list, make a note on what is the fear that is the most present for you. And if you have a few of them, then put them in the priority orders, because this is exactly what we want to fight. We want to fight the fear of investment. We want to fight the fear of reducing the cost. We want to fight the fear or the belief that people might not have money to pay us. And everything here is switchable, okay? There's nothing here that needs to stay as is. Obviously, we need to take into account the crisis and the reality, but it doesn't mean that we can open the door to all our fears and just, like I said, go under the blankets and wait until this whole crisis is going to go, because as we know, this crisis, quote unquote, it might take a few good months. And so we cannot afford to just wait for this crisis to be over. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So we have the choice, right? Either we put our head in the sand, or we decide to look at reality. And by looking at reality, I don't mean, giving in to our fears. By looking at reality, I mean understanding what is in the realm of possible. What can I change in my mindset and in my beliefs with everything that's happening in order to work on a specific aspect of my business, or a few specific aspects of my business, so that I can actually do something in that period of time. Maybe it won't be my best month of sales. Maybe I won't have all the clients that I wanted to have. Maybe I will not do what I was supposed to do, but we'll see how this in itself can be an opportunity. And it really depends on us. How do we decide to look at this reality? Or do we decide to just say, this is a crisis, I don't want to hear about it. my business is over, and just, put our head in the sand and not think about it. Why? Because as we've said many times already, our business is us and we are our business. Even for those of us who have teams and who have people that work with us and who have, maybe outsourcing or whoever we have working with us, as the CEO, as the owner, as the main person in your business, you are your business and your business is you. Which means that whatever personal mindset you have is going to become a business mindset, and it's going to have an impact on our results. Now, it seems obvious when it's said like that, but it's not that obvious when you get up and you're in a bad mood, or you feel, depressed, or you feel influenced by what's happening, or you watch too much news, or you hear too many people around you that have bad energy or bad vibration, right? And so as long as you don't take care of your personal mindset, and in that I mean self-care, eating properly, sleeping properly, drinking, doing exercise, meditation, we're going to talk about it, doing everything that you need to really support yourself on a personal level, taking care of your kids, of your family, making sure that everything in your personal life is okay, is 100% okay. Only then can you work on your business mindset, because we're the same person. We're not two different people, and we're not going to be able to work on our business with a healthy mindset if we're not working on our personal mindset, and this will have a direct impact on our results. So let's talk about the choice that we have in terms of how do we choose to react. Okay, our results will depend directly on how we choose to react on what's happening. So as you can see, this strategic planning day, for those of you who have been in previous ones, is different than other strategic planning days, because before we used to talk about our general mindset around the business. And now we have to deal with the general mindset around the business with everything that's happening around, and how do we choose to react. But if you pay attention, we always have to react to something. So today it's a global crisis, but maybe 3 months ago, it was an internal mindset that we had to react. So the choice is always ours in how we decide to react. So the first is, are we going to give into fear and to panic? Are we going to get lost in the media and the bad news? Are we going to lose our center and our cool? Are we going to imagine the worst case scenario and then act from fear and look only at the short term in our business? And this is why I started by congratulating you, because a lot of people are in this category, and without judging or anything, because this is a really difficult situation. But when we're giving to fear, then we are going to act from fear, and we're going to only look at the short-term impact. And that is going to mean that we might make decisions that are not going to support us in the midterm and in the long term. So we really have to turn up the volume of our visionary mindset, right? Looking at the long term. I know it's difficult. I know it's challenging. I know what I'm asking you to do here is not easy, but there is no other choice than looking at the long term and connecting ourselves and our vibrations and our energy and our intention to the long term, because if not, it means that we're giving in to fear. So what is the other choice, right? The other choice is taking this opportunity to reinvent ourselves. And I'm going to talk a lot about this today, because this is an amazing opportunity that we have. I mean, it doesn't look amazing. It doesn't look like an opportunity, but it's an opportunity that whether we want it or not, it's been put on our lap. And it's been put on the universe's lap, not our personal lap, but it's for everyone. And it's amazing to see how it's for every country, for poor and rich, for, smart and not smart, for, business, not business. It's like everyone is now getting an opportunity to press on the reset button. And we want to see today how we can use this reset opportunity for our business. Someone talks about, I have to do everything from scratch. Well, that's exactly how we're going to look at this, because believe it or not, we're not given this opportunity very often in our lives. And so we might look at it as a bad thing, because we thought everything was going well and we just wanted to go on with our business after our maternity leave or whatever it is that we had planned. And now we're giving another opportunity, and this is our choice to react, how we're going to react to this opportunity. How are we going to be creative in finding solutions? How are we going to observe before we even do any strategy, strategic decisions that's going to change our whole business? How we're going to observe where the world is going and design a strategy. That's why we're here today. how we're going to ask the difficult questions that we've pushed maybe or postponed on our business and say, you know what, now it's time to really tackle this. Now it's time to really ask myself the strong and difficult question. By the way, while I'm talking, whatever is resonating, write down, take notes, because this is opening your mind. This, if you feel like when I say ask the difficult question, you have a question popping up, then write it down. Say, oh yeah, this is something I've been postponing. This is something I haven't really wanted to look at because I've been busy with clients, with money, with, you know, short-term activity. And now all of a sudden we're given an opportunity to take a strong, hard look at our business and really make the, you know, difficult decisions for some of us and decide what is our long-term strategy. Okay, so I'm going to, at some point, you're going to tell me, how is this resonating? And you're going to tell me, this is resonating because I feel like I can take my business a different direction. Or I feel like things that I've been wanting to do for so many years, now might be the time to look into this. Or I feel like now the trend is going in a certain direction and my business can really provide an answer for this trend. So think about, you know, being honest with yourself, being really connected to all this dimension of you as a business owner, and say, okay, this is the time to be honest, not to talk about, oh, but how am I going to make money? That's a how question, right? This is more connected to a why question. Am I connected to my why? Am I connected to everything that I want to do in my business? And we want to really be honest with ourselves. We have no choice. We really don't. This is the time, okay? Now, I've heard Simon Sinek in one of his podcasts actually talk about, Simon Sinek is, for those of you who don't know, is the person I speak a lot about that, you know, speak about the golden circle, the why, the how, and the what. He has a very famous TED Talk that's called How Do Leader Lead, or, you know, you can look it up. And he's been interviewed about the crisis, and he said something that I felt that I wanted to share with you, because this is going to give us some perspective into what's happening. He said that this crisis is definitely sudden. It's definitely, you know, it happened really fast. It happened really on a global level, but he said it is not unprecedented. And I was really surprised, because everyone says we've never seen something like this. It's never happened. And then he gave examples, right? He gave examples of other times where crises have put some companies out of business, and some others have come out stronger because they have reinvented themselves. Now, we only know the big ones because those are the ones that, you know, we hear about. But, you know, I'm sure there are a lot of other small ones that had to go through some crisis and then had to reinvent themselves. So here are 4 examples. So OOV is out of business. So it's, well, I don't know, I wasn't in business at the time. I don't know if some of you were, but at the time where the internet, right, the internet bubble really exploded, and all the businesses had to decide what to do with this new technology, whether to go on the internet or not. Now it seems to us that it's really obvious that everyone had to go on the internet. But at the time, this really put many businesses out of business because they didn't choose innovation. They said, no, this is something that's going to pass. It's going to be only a small crisis, and then we're going to come back to normal. We're going to talk about what it means to go back to normal, right? If you remember, I remember, and I asked my kids and they remember too, when we used to rent video cassettes, right? Videotapes, right? From Blockbusters or whatever. And those went out of business because of Netflix and streaming. And I remember in my MBA, we did have a case study on those companies that decided really in their strategy meetings, in their board meetings, that said, this is only going to pass, streaming is not going to last, we're going to stay with our video stores, and they went out of business. Starbucks also put a lot of coffee shops out of business because they didn't choose to level up with the quality of what Starbucks or whatever atmosphere or the stores that Starbucks, the new standards that Starbucks was putting, you know, in the market. And then those coffee shops just went out of business. And Uber, this is a very recent example, how we see how Uber is putting taxis out of business because they're not deciding to level up with the service, right? So what do we see here? We see that when something is happening, a disruption is happening in our industry, in our economy, in the whole world. It doesn't matter if it's a global, crisis. we have the choice between taking a hard look at our business and say, wait, is my business going to survive this crisis? Am I really up to date with what's happening in the world or in my industry or in the economy? Or am I doing things like we used to do because it's more comfortable and I'm not changing? I'm not really open to evolving. I'm not open to reinvent ourselves, right? So it's not an easy question because we like what we know, but it's a question we need to ask. We don't have the choice. We need to ask ourselves, is the way we did business until now still relevant or is it obsolete? Do we have a part of our business that we need to reconsider, that we need to reinvent, that we need to really put on the table and say, you know what, now it seems like all this part of my business is not relevant anymore. Or, you know, maybe I need to change, only tweak a small thing and then it's going to be relevant, right? So the companies with finite mindset, right, closed mindset will struggle the most and will stay in survival mode rather than reinvention mode. And that's the choice, my friends. That's what I want to tell you. It's not just, oh, I didn't know, I didn't see, or, you know, I'm in a victim mode, but it's a choice. And that's why we're here today. You're here to make a proactive choice in terms of your business. And the companies with infinite mindset will come of it stronger because they will take this crisis as an opportunity to reinvent themselves. So what I'm talking to you about is, yes, there is a low, but those of us who are going to take this low as an opportunity to look at our business, to reinvent ourselves, we're going to have a great high. This is what's going to happen. We're going to be ready for an amazing opportunity, and we're going to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and we're going to come out of this tunnel as a different train. It's not just, oh, the same train is going through the tunnel as coming out. It's going to be a different train coming out of the tunnel. So basically, what we have to ask ourselves is not, how will I get through this crisis? Or when is everything going to return to normal? Because this is a finite mindset. Like, I just want to put on pause, you know, just press the pause button, wait until this is all over so I can go back to doing exactly what I was doing before because it was working. And then I want to go back to my clients to exactly the same way I was doing things, right? If you're in this mindset, then the chances of you surviving this crisis is lower than if you ask yourself, how are we going to take this opportunity to change, to reinvent ourselves? What am I going to change in my business to stay relevant in a world that will never be the same? This is what we have to face, guys, okay? We really have to face this. There's no going back to normal. There's no end of the crisis. There is a new normal. There is a new world. There are new standards, new expectations, a new mindset. I mean, everyone is going to come out changed of this crisis, and so we're just gonna have to know what is this new normal and how can we adapt this our business. And so, what I'm inviting you to do today, and listen, it's not going to happen in an hour and a half, right? But this is an invitation for a mindset shift, and this is an invitation for you to go look inside, okay? And a time where reality has changed and time has stopped. I don't know if you haven't, there is a joke going around, people don't even know what day we are, and let alone what time we are, because we're just home and we're not seeing the time really moving, right? So reality is changing, time is stopping, only vibrations are left, only what we're feeling, only our intuition, our emotions, our thoughts, obviously, you know, and everything that is happening inside of us is what is making our world we're basically at the center of our world. And so this is the best time to look at what I call your treasure box. We can call it your born to do, we can call it your treasure box, and rediscover what is inside to reinvent yourself. The universe is giving us an opportunity to start from scratch. This is what we've been given. We've been given an opportunity to start from scratch. And so this is the opportunity for us to really look inside and to ask ourselves our questions, so that the real questions, because it's not only going to be about money, about clients, about revenue, about marketing. It's going to be about essence. It's going to be about meaning. It's going to be about connection. It's going to be about alignment. Okay, this is an invitation for us to align with ourselves. And so what is the invitation here is same, but different. this is if you can really understand. I know it's not easy to conceive, but we need to stay the same in terms of keeping our DNA, being aligned to our born to do, being aligned to our why. We need to stay the same in terms of alignment, but we need to really be different in terms of how, in terms of what, right? Our business model, our product, our services. So I know it's a contradiction here, what I'm giving you, because I'm saying stay the same, but be different, right? It's finding the right balance between letting go of the flow and still being in control, okay? I know it's not easy, but this is what we have to do. So not going with any opportunity that's presenting ourselves because of the crisis, if it's not really connected to our DNA and to our business, but yes, to changing our business model and our services if they're not adapted to the new reality. So we need to be really aligned and really centered, but we also need to be aware of everything that's happening so we can change our business models or our products or our services without changing our why, okay? And this is, I hope that this is really clear to you. It's not an easy balance, but the more you're going to connect to your why and the more you're going to look at this treasure box, the more you're going to be open and more creative to different hows, different whats. And so the same why can be translated into different hows and whats. And so you will be able to translate this crisis into an opportunity if you know how to stay aligned with yourself and at the same time change your business model, change your services, or tweak them. Maybe it's not a whole change, maybe it's a small change, but it's about being aware that something needs to change in the way that we look at our business. So when we did the training and the webinar last week, was it last week already? No, maybe the week before. And we spoke about all the things that we have to review in our business. That's not what we're going to do today. But I just, this is a reminder that going through everything that is going on in your business and asking yourself two questions. What is aligned? What needs to change? What is aligned? What needs to change? And so this is an exercise that I strongly invite you. What type of clients? So do I have ideal clients that are aligned? If yes, yes. If no, what needs to change? My team, my financial situation. How am I aligned and relevant in my industry? What type of services and products do I offer? What is my business model? Going online is a different business model. Is it aligned to my DNA? Is it aligned with my industry? Is this something that I want to change? If yes, how? My prices, do I need to adapt my prices? Not because no one is going to have money, but because I want to adapt myself to the industry and to the situation. I want to be relevant. The way I do marketing and the way I do sales, okay? So it's really going through every aspect of our business in order to find out what is aligned, what needs to change, okay? That's a big, it could be a big job and it could be very intuitive. It could be, everything is aligned. I just need to change 1, 2, 3, and then you'll have your answer. And it could be that I need to realign my business to really be connected to this and to my inside, alignment and to what's happening outside. So this is why we need to take the time to design a new strategy. In times of crisis, it is all the more important to act according to a strategy and not to let our gut feeling control our business, because then it might be really controlled by our fears. That's why I started this call by congratulating you, because you didn't say, I'll just go with whatever. You said, no, I need to sit down. You've done the homework. You've, filled out the spreadsheet. You've worked on this, and you've decided to take control over your business, right? Looking at what worked until now, checking how relevant it is with the new situation, fine-tuning what you already have. This is what we want to do. We don't want to go out and do, something new altogether, right? Be careful in jumping in the new, not to add uncertainty. We can if we want to start something new, but then we have to do it just like if it was a regular business, not jumping in it and, just because it's the crisis. And then, when we go back to normal, I'll go back to my business. No, the decisions we make now are going to be for long term. It's about staying aligned, right? It's a time for observation, patience, research, listening to your market, come up with a strategy before you make any moves, right? So it's not about not acting on your strategy, but it's about thinking first, how is it aligned and what do I need to change? And then I can come up with my action plan. So once we have a strategy in place, we are going to have an action plan. This is what we're doing today. We're brainstorming on everything we've been doing in the last few months, and then we come up with very few things that work in our business that we're going to focus on But those things we're going to amplify, and we're going to dive deep into the things that are already working. So without forgetting about alignment, right? As purpose-driven entrepreneurs are born to do business, we cannot forget that the main thing that allowed us to be successful was our connection and alignment to our born to do, to our passion. Okay, this is probably why you've been successful. And whether we are in a crisis or not, we should not change this fact. We need to stay true to ourselves, okay? So those are our goals. This was really putting ourselves in the context of this of the crisis, and this is those are the goals for this session. And you've been working, you know, for 2 weeks. We had pre-event training. You've had time with your AD to work on this. You've had training sessions, recordings, time to really work. And now this is the time where we want to, you know, really fine tune everything and close really the 3 main goals that you're going to work on, right? So we're going to talk about, we're going to gain some perspective on our business in this special time. We're going to observe what works until now and realize what will not work anymore. We're going to align or realign with our born to do, decide what projects to continue and what to change. That's the how and the what, and get clarity on what to focus on in the next quarter, in the Q2, okay? At the end of the session, we'll have 3 main goals that we want to focus on in the next 3 months, and the projects that you'll have to implement in order to reach those goals, as well as KPIs, key performance indicators, and I'll explain what that is to evaluate your performance. This is what we're going to do today. The good news is that we get to do this together. So before we go into the next, I would like to, we're going to go into a visualization exercise. But before that, I would like to stop sharing and you giving me some feedback. I want 2 people to give me feedback into how is this resonating? What is this, you know, which light is it opening? How can you apply this to your business? I want 2 people to give me feedback on, yes, this is resonating, and I can see how I need to ask myself questions or how I need to realign. Who wants to, yes, Tamar. I'm going to take 2 people so we don't take so much time.
Okay, yeah. So when it opened my eyes and all, when I was thinking all the time, yeah, I'm just going to do and see how I can make my business more efficient for the time when everything will go back to normal. Because everything is going to, in my opinion, everything is just going to go back to the way it was before. And now I'm thinking, first of all, okay, maybe this is longer than 2 or 3 weeks. So that's number 1. So be prepared as well in this time that we are still in quarantine. But then also, how are people going to be changed later? Yeah, that's like an eye-opener. Are people going to be different? Is the whole world around going to be different? Is this
what do you think?
Relevant?
What do you think?
I thought till now that the moment we're going to be able to be free, which is not really free, but to be free again, we're just going to go back into the hassle of the running around and achieving and the stress. Okay. Yes, everything's going to go back to normal. Yeah, that's what I.
Okay. Who else thinks here that everything is going to go back to normal? Deborah, you think that? I think. Okay, so say yes or no, so we can see everyone. Who else thinks that everything is going to go back to normal? Wendy, you can be like this. You have to say. She's going to do like the Indian.
I'm hedging my bets. I don't know.
No, it's not. I mean, it's definitely. Listen, let's start with this. Not going back to normal is not necessarily bad.
Right. Okay.
Right, my point here is not getting back to normal is good. Okay, so because we're afraid of new, we feel that old is better. Okay, because we don't like changes. We feel like, you know, let's let it go, everything back to where it was, because this is what I'm used to. But not normal is new, is good, is better. Okay?
I mean, it would be great if we now change to working only 4 days a week, because people are going to realize.
Yeah, so this is what this is what I'm inviting you to do. Let's start from general and less specific. Okay, like let's connect to general ideas and to like not so it's going to change like this or like that, because we don't have that information. But it's more about connecting to the vibration and not the vibration of the news. Okay, they have no idea. The news is opposite. Like if you see where the news is going, you go the opposite direction. Okay, so whatever is being told on the mainstream, but listening inside, listening to people that have the good vibrations, to people that are going to open up to new realities. Yes, Sarah, I want to hear you, but I really want us to stay on track. So yes, please.
I'm just going to share this very, very brief story that I found very inspiring. And I don't think she's here on the call today, but after 9/11, Fern Reese sat down and wrote a book called How to Talk to Children About Terrorism that she had been thinking about for 15 years. Because she was going back and forth from the States to Israel over these 15 years. 9/11, she sat down, wrote this book in 24 hours, and she sold out her entire press run, 25,000 copies in 1 week. And I was so inspired by this story. And that's where I feel really aligned with this whole idea that this doesn't have to be a catastrophe for us. This is an opportunity for us to figure out how we're going to make this work. And as you were talking, I really connected to this idea, and not to get into the specifics of it, but I know that that Get Help Israel has been running this workshop for therapists to figure out how to do online therapy. And I don't think that is ever going to go back to how it was before, that this has opened up a new model for so many of us who are used to thinking of things one way. Therapists are particularly rigid about this. And that we can all see this as a way that the world is changing permanently, but it's opening up a lot of new ways for us all to work. And that is something I think we have to really take very seriously. And
listen,
in the best way.
Totally agree. And I think that as entrepreneurs, and I said that, in the webinar and the training, I'm just repeating that as entrepreneurs, we are at the forefront of this change because we are the more flexible. We are the more, adapted in our mindset. We can change, for people that have a 9-to-5 job, I mean, I don't know where their mindset is. It's probably like imploding or exploding, right? Or people that had a very strong structure, right? Like the military, Gregory, I'm thinking about, right? The military, right? So it's really about us as entrepreneurs. We have the resources, and if we don't have the resources, we are resourceful, right? In terms of finding the right mindset to reinvent ourselves. And this is not the bad news. If you felt from what I was saying that this was the bad news, then I missed the point, okay? It's really great news. It's scary, but scary doesn't mean bad, like it's new, but new doesn't mean bad. It's also uncertain, right? But instead of looking at it as something that, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen, it's, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen, right? It's the same thing, that is, wow, it's amazing, it's new, it's opportunity, it's open. And the reason why I'm opening up, and this is why we're spending time, because planning, strategy, you know me, really important, blah, 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 we need to know, blah, blah, blah. But the way that we do it is going to be as important as what we decide to do. The way that we decide to do it, the way the mindset, that's why I want to do a visualization exercise now, because I want to put ourselves in a mindset where we're going to be positive in terms of looking at our next 3 months with this open mindset. Yes, Deborah, please. What do you want to say? And then we'll go back to the...
Asking us how it was resonating to us. And I think it's, well, I'm quite creative, so for me, it's fun, except that I still don't have the money. But no, it's the first time that I've realized that I have to come up with a strategy, a long-term strategy. While I was having fun, trying to find new ways. And now I've just realized that, okay, it should be long-term, so it has to be a strategy, not just trying stuff. And it's the first time that I've realized I have to sit and think long-term.
Wow, that's huge. That's huge. Thank you for sharing. Michelle, and then we'll go to the visualization.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just want to connect two things with what Tamar has said and what Sarah has said, which I really think is very important. For me personally, I think that this has been a huge lesson for us, and it's a great opportunity for all of us to learn how to slow down, number one. Because with all the technology and the rushing around and everything else that we were trying to do and get impact in our lives as much as possible and do as much as possible, this is now a time for us all. We all have to learn how to slow down, which I think is huge. The other thing is that for me personally, and talking about coaching online and even teaching online, I had somebody in my family say to me about 5 years ago, go online, teach online. And it came from a place of fear and taking me out of my comfort zone, that I kept on saying, no, I won't do it. Now I'm forced. I have no choice, because if I want to earn an income, I'm going to have to go online, and that is the only way I'm going to get an income.
I'm inviting you, Michelle, to change the words that you're using. Okay. All right. Not I'm forced. Okay. Not I have no choice. Okay. I get to. Okay. Correct. Now I'm lucky because I get to. Okay. This is going to change everything, guys. And about the money, Deborah, this is exactly what's going to change everything. Okay. We had a whole training. I'm not going to go back here. You have it for those of you in the program in the member site of the law of attraction. Right. Okay. I want to say that today, you know, if before the law of attraction was a nice thing to have, today is the only thing we have. Right. Okay, because today is we only have vibration. We only have we don't even have where to run off. We don't have a job. We don't have a car. We don't have. It's like we have to be facing ourselves and thinking about the law of attraction. So the way we speak, the way we feel, the way we look at ourselves, the way we look at the situation. Be careful of the words that you use. Okay, I know I've used the word crisis a few times, but I like to use the word shift. Okay, we're not in a crisis, we're in a shift of consciousness, okay, a shift of reality, okay? If I say to myself, this is a crisis, then I'm gonna behave like I'm in a crisis, okay? So obviously, I mean, it is also a crisis, but crisis is not necessarily a bad word. It's a change of reality, okay? So I'm not forced to, I get to. And again, I'm not judging, Michelle. I know you're very careful about how you speak. I'm using this as a teaching moment, okay?
And that's great. That's absolutely great.
Because it's really, again, listen, you've heard me say this before the coronavirus. So, I mean, those of you who have heard me say that, you're my witness here. I always said that entrepreneurs are at the forefront of progress and of society. Always, always, always. As entrepreneurs are creating our own value, creating our own desire, changing our desire into services. Can you imagine how lucky we are that we can actually change our ideas or our services or our products into value, into money, and actually live from this? Okay, so we are showing the example for, I want to say, about millions of people who are going to ask themselves, wait, why am I commuting for 2 hours every day? Like, why am I not seeing my kids? Why am I seeing my kids only half an hour a day? So we are already there. And those of you who've made the shift from corporate or from, whatever job you had to being now here as an entrepreneur, you know what I'm talking about. Right? You know that this is really a luxury that we have. So we get to do it. We get to bring value. We get to connect to our born to do, to our alignment, to know what is it that we have to bring to this world. And this shift is allowing us to do this in a bigger way. Okay. So with that in mind, I would like you to all mute yourselves. I would like you to sit straight. We're going to take, Anastasia, if you can do the timing and time 5 minutes. Is that okay? But you can do the visualization too. Please do. You're invited. Just make the timer on also. Okay. So I would like you to sit straight and put your feet on the ground, not crossing your legs. Sitting comfortably. Okay. I know that Chava has a baby in her arms, so you can do the visualization with the baby. Maybe is it a he or a she? It's a she. Okay. So let's go. Let's bring her. Gregory, I thought you would have, a friend here, but no, even the baby is a she. Okay, so put your hands like this, meaning like palm up, but on your lap. Okay, so the idea is to really be relaxed and having your feet on the ground. If you have a phone or a paper or whatever on your lap, just put it out. Yeah, you can remove the camera if you feel more comfortable, but it's up to you. And I would like you to close your eyes, and we're gonna do this 5 minutes. So it's gonna be a short visualization, but I think it's really important that we connect to ourselves before we go into the strategic part of this session. And take a deep breath. Another one. We're going to take 3 deep breaths here. And another one. Okay, so I'm going to be talking. It's just to guide you into seeing what is inside of you. And before we can see what is inside, we want to clean as much as possible, or to remove as much as possible the noise that we have in our head. And so whatever thoughts you have now, whatever it is connected to the kids at home or to what's happening on the Zoom, I would like you to observe the thoughts, but not to get attached to it. So you can observe the thought and let it go through your mind. Just let it go. Don't get attached to it. Just try to see the thoughts in your mind, see the thoughts in your brain, but not getting attached to it, and continue the breathing so that your mind is going to go at a different pace and you're going to be connected to your internal reality and not connected to what's happening around you. Continue the deep breathing, and I want you to focus on your heart chakra. So I want you to, if you need to put your hand or to focus your attention on your heart, to the chakra next to your heart, and deep breathe inside your heart, connecting to that chakra, connecting to that space, not on the surface of your body, but inside, just like if you would go inside, connected to that chakra, and breathing deep inside of your heart, connecting to that emotional center of your body. And I would like you to see yourself and project yourself when, we don't know when, but when we think that this shift is going to be actually integrated in our normal lives, and that we're not going to be inside, everything that's happening, but we're going to be after. And I want you to look at yourself and see yourself in your business, wherever it is for you. Is it a desk? Is it an office? Is it a place where you have your business, where you're on the phone, on the computer? Look at this place, connect to this place. If it's you writing, if it's you teaching, if it's you talking to your clients, look at, in a few months from now, when we won't be really in this state of uncertainty, when we can say that we are after, when we can say that this has happened, but now at least the physical aspect of it, at least the health aspect of it, at least the virus aspect of it has come down, and we know that it will. And now you're back at your place, and you are back at talking to people, you're back at selling your business or selling your services, or talking to the right people, being what you know that you know how to do, offering your gifts, connecting to who you are inside and offering your gifts. And I want you to take a few minutes to see, what are you talking about? Who are you talking to? Look at what's popping up. What are the faces that are popping up? What are the names that are popping up? Just let it come up now that we've really removed all the thoughts of your mind, and that you are after the fear, after the physical fear, that we are now in a state where you're reconnecting to people. You're taking your car if you need to drive somewhere. You can meet people for coffee. You can talk to your clients face to face, or you can speak to them on Zoom. It doesn't matter. Who is coming up? Who are the people that are coming up? Whether they're past clients, existing ones, new ones, friends, strategic partners. What do you see yourself doing? Do you see yourself talking to people, doing something else? And those people that are coming up, what do you talk to them about? Keep on breathing and look inside, just as if you could project yourself in the future and see what is the subject that is coming up for you. What are the topics that are coming up? What are the themes? What are the things you get the most excited about to go back to, even if we're not going to go back to it, but it's going to be a renewing of what we did? What are the things that you see yourself the most doing? Things maybe you didn't imagine yourself doing before, and now you just see yourself maybe speaking on a stage, giving a lecture, publishing your book, doing what you do already now, but in bigger. What do you see yourself doing? Can you raise your hand if you see something? Just raise your hand if you see something, if you see yourself doing something, talking about something. If you see the people you're talking to, if you see the content that is coming up for you. If you see the energy, how do you feel when this is happening? What is the feeling? Is it a feeling of calmness? Is it a feeling of excitement? Do you feel that this is happening in a flow? And I want you to stay there. I want you to picture yourself in that bigger version of yourself. I want you to see how what you've been doing until now can be even bigger, can have a bigger impact. What is this bigger impact looking like for you? Even if you don't know how it's going to happen or where you're going to find the money to do it, or if it at all is possible, you can see yourself if everything is possible, there are no restrictions, all the resources are available, and you see yourself. I want you to slowly, when you're ready, open your eyes. I want you to keep that image or that content, and I want you to take a few minutes. Thank you, Anastasia. I want you to take a few minutes to write it down, okay? Just write down what you saw. What did you see? Who did you speak to? What was the content? What were those people? What were those ideas? We're not talking about the how. We don't know how you're going to do it, but what did you see yourself doing? Try to talk also about your emotions. How did you feel? What did you see? It could be that you saw yourself doing the same thing that you were doing before. It's okay. It's okay. Just write what you saw. Just write what you saw. Okay, write what you saw in with the details. Okay, whatever details, whoever was this person, whatever was the place, whatever was the conversation that you were having. Okay, take a few minutes to write and raise your hand when you're done. Thank you, Annie. Thank you, Stephanie. 11:11. Look at this. I love it. This is a little. Great. Okay, this is precious, guys. This is really precious. This is really something that you want to hold on to. This can be if it's the same as what you did before, perfect, you're aligned. If there's something new, we're going to pay attention to it. If it's bigger, then we're going to stretch it longer, like make a long-term strategy. And so now that we are in the right mindset, now that we've visualized ourselves after that whatever time that we don't know how long it's going to be, but we know it's going to end, right? Now that we've seen ourselves, we are empowered. Do you feel empowered? Do you feel like this is like for coming from inside, not the fear, not the thoughts, not the uncertainty, but it's coming from inside. Now, this, guys, is not going anywhere. It doesn't matter what's happening outside of us. This is always inside of you. Okay, you have access to it. You know, we just went in it like in 2 minutes, right? It's always available. So whenever there is fear, whenever there is uncertainty, you have this tool. You can go inside. You can check what's happening inside. This is really, it belongs to you. Okay. Now, Are we ready to dive in the Excels? Or do we want to stay in the, can I have one share from someone who wants to share that they saw something? I want to hear from one of you. Yes, Marlene, please.
So as I said, I'm an interior designer, but when I did the exercise, lifestyle kept on coming up to me. I love to entertain. I think I do it really well. I'm a good cook. My dinners are always a lot of fun. And I just thought right now people are at home and they have to cook for themselves, and they have to, you know, just make their environment nice to be in. And it's something that I've always thought of, because I didn't know if I wanted to go into catering or party planning or design. In the end, my favorite thing to do is design, but in a way that encompasses all those topics. Okay. And so that's where.
That's great. You see, this is when we let things come up. That's what you saw, right? And it's amazing. I really want you to pay attention to that. Whatever form or shape it's gonna take in your business, right? It's something that we need to really always listen, but all the more when everything else is uncertain. I know we're running late, but I really want to hear from Gregory. What came up for you, Gregory?
Thank you. Yeah. I was really inspired, and I saw myself doing workshop with the people, and the sphere was very serene, and the people were special people. They were leaders in their company, but also politicians, and the theme was the leaders for the day after, because there will be an after business. And I had an inspiration about the world serving leader, so leader who are able to serve, and it struck me.
Wow,
so that's
amazing.
My vision.
Amazing. I love it, guys. Okay, thank you so much for sharing. We're going to go back to the presentation, and we're going to go back now to trying to bring down. Raise your hand if you're okay if we go beyond 11:30. Is everyone okay? Yes, great. Okay, so that's really good. We're gonna try to not to go too far, but I really want to have time, and you see how we need the time to share. We need the time. So maybe it was my, we should have made it for 2 hours from the beginning, but also we're learning. You see, I wanted to make sure that we get everything in an hour and a half, but it is a challenge. So let me share my screen. I want to now, you can open your mics if you want. We did the visualization exercise. I want to talk about the 50 ways to cash, okay? So what were the goals of this exercise? So first of all, raise your hand, those who did the exercise with your AB. Okay, I can't see all of you, but I'm guessing Chava is like trying to hide. I can see you. Okay, but you raised your hand. Okay, it's good. Okay, so listen, this is not like a check. We're not in school, right? It's really perfectly fine. You have kids at home, and I'm totally aware of it. This is only, you can go back to it after and do it. It's not, it doesn't have to be for now. But the goal of this exercise was to have your brain work in a creative mode, even when we're talking about money. So what we just did before was more inspiring, was more inner work. And it was more like, looking at the future. But this exercise was really to make your brain. So when we talk about money, we always have, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And this exercise is like expanding your consciousness to be able to see, wow, I can do even more. So who got to 50? Raise your hand. No one is raising their hands. Oh my God. Oh, my God. Okay. Well, I did it and I got to 50. So maybe someday I'll share it with you because I really did get to 50. And it should reassure your left brain that even in the worst case scenario, you can be resourceful. So it's the difference between having resources and being resourceful. Tony Robbins speaks about this. I don't know if you've heard him speak about that. He speaks a lot about that. So I would like you to look at your spreadsheet. With this is what it looks like. The 50 ways to cash. Okay, so you have you were supposed to write down all your ideas here and put the priority in the first action item. And I would like one of you to share your 5 MGA activities that you will do and continue to do in the short term, because it's one, aligned to your DNA, and also because it is still relevant. So who wants to share that with us?
I don't want to share. I don't want to share, but I have a question. What does action item mean? I forgot. I didn't know what that meant.
Who's asking? Because I don't see you guys.
Marlene.
Oh, hi, Marlene. Action item means the first thing you're going to do to make it happen. It's like you need to make a phone call. You need to send out an email. You need to go buy something. I don't know. It's the first thing that you need to do. Okay. So who wants to share? If it's not 5, then maybe 3 ideas that you had that you want to continue doing, because those are the things that are going to bring you money. And MGA, for those of you who don't know, is money generating activity, you know, by opposition with EGA, which is exponential. Yes, Stephanie, please.
Okay, so I think the first one that's the one I had in my visualization was to have more partnerships and more affiliates to work with and try to get to promote my services. So that's one where I want to, one direction I want to go. The other one is to reinforce the group lessons, to have more groups. And I think the third one, I don't know. I think it's just continuing with the regular way of doing, like doing SEO, and continuing with what I've been doing. Now, the one thing that I haven't visualized and I put a bit on hold, and I had a question about that, like it's my B2B story, and my like you said, you know, there's no coming back, and we have to think of ways to present things differently to promote our services, to like not stop. And it's true that in my mind I kind of said, okay, now it's not the right time to contact businesses. I mean, I've been in touch briefly just to say that they need us, but I didn't go the extra step. Like, should I continue? Like, should I be more proactive in that direction, or should I just let the crisis go?
Right. So first of all, this exercise was not about the project, right, that you're focusing on. Those were only ways to make money. So SEO is not a way to make money, right?
Okay.
SEO is marketing. Okay. So it's whatever brings you money tomorrow, right? So if you have like one-on-one clients, you know, that you've had, learning English, individual lessons, that's your main MGA, right? Now, in terms of the B2B, we're not going to answer questions today. What we're going to do is we're going to do the inventory of everything where your business is. And if you have questions on the B2B, then it's setting aside time. And this is true for everyone. So you have the things that are obvious. This I'm continuing to do. And we're going to talk about those things. And it's probably going to be one of your projects for the Q2. I need to continue doing this. And then I have the question mark, because of the crisis, because mindsets have changed, because priorities have changed, because budgets have changed. And so for this, your action item next to it here, if you had to write the action item next to it, is research, is watching competition, is setting aside time for you to think, like, what do I really want to do? Because answers are not going to come right away. They're going to come with taking the time to really see how you're going to be able to position this product in this new context. Okay, so it's not about jumping to what do I need to do.
Okay.
It's about I need to take the time to rethink this. I need to observe, what is my competition doing? I need to maybe speak to 3 or 4 people that are close to me and ask them, what are they expecting? It's like rebuilding a new business. It's like doing a new survey, not counting on what you've been doing in the past, but reassessing it from scratch. Okay? So every time you have a blank, it's about, okay, I need to invest time to think about it. Okay? Is this resonating to everybody else? Can you see the points where you're going to have question marks, where you need to put a question mark and say, okay, this I need to take time to think about. I need to take time to observe. What are my competition doing? What is my industry doing? What are people saying? What is the trend? Where is it going? Okay, so that's also why, guys, having, you know, everyone in the group is really also very useful, because talking to people and exchanging experiences can be really, really interesting also. Okay, is that helpful? Yeah. Okay, who else wants to share for the 50 ways? Did you have, so 50 ways can also be, I'm going to sell peanuts on the street. Yeah, it's not only you know, what I've been doing. Yes, Deborah.
I only have 3.
Okay.
Because I have kids at home and it's quite hard.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go on broadcasting educational videos for kids, so that the parents can put the kids in front of me and I can teach them stuff.
Okay.
So this is something I want to go on doing. Second thing is maybe creating a support group from women. Like we would meet every other day for 30 minutes, something I'm going to create.
Okay.
And
those are all for money, right? We're talking
yes.
all for money. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And the third one would be one-on-one individual calls for moms who would need support, like I would bring them energy or advice with the kids, and or with how they can teach the kids or stuff like this.
Great. So that's why I love this exercise, because one-on-one is something that before we wanted to move away from, because we wanted to scale, to bring people in groups, and now it could be that because we need to bring in cash fast, then we want to, it's not going back, but it's bringing the one-on-one back on the table, because, you know, special times, you know, require special measures, right? So this is what I mean by being flexible in our business model, right? With some of you, I've worked really hard to move away from the one-on-one, to push everything in the groups, to do everything scaled, to do everything online. But now in this list, when you have one line that says, well, I can still give one-on-one, and it doesn't mean I'm going backwards in my business model. It means that this is one way that I can bring in cash if I feel like, you know, my longer term strategy is taking more time. So when you said before, Deborah, it's really a good thing. When you said, I don't know, I don't have the money yet. You said, I have great ideas, but I don't have the money. This is exactly your money map, right? So this is where you say, well, I know this is a long-term thing, but until I can get to the long-term, maybe I'm going to focus only on the one-on-one, because this is going to bring me money right away. This is me connecting to one person and actually having more money from that one-on-one. Okay. So it's really this flexible mindset that I want you to have, which is I can have my long-term strategy, my long-term mindset. I know where I want to go in the long term, but right now, if I need to make money tomorrow, this is what I know I can do. Okay. Okay. Now, anyone else wants to share on an MGA that was surprising for them, or that I'm not seeing everyone. So if I don't see you, you can unmute yourself and say, yes, Gregory.
So I have more than 15, but the first one is like Deborah is coming back to the one-on-one, because it can go quick, and I have already past clients, and what I intend to do is start again the one-on-one and propose exercises, and for the session with the exercises, I will put 2 or 3 clients together, so they will pay lower prices, but it will be more for me, and it will be less work for me. So I did it in the past, and I think I will did it next week or within 2 weeks to keep the rhythm for me also, to not
Very
to
nice.
stop my rhythm.
I love it. I love it because this is being creative, and this is also like really quick, getting new clients quick and bringing money in, even though we're still building the long-term strategy, right? You still have your vision of leadership and workshops, but right now it's about switching our mindset, MGA, EGA, right? Right now it's about making money fast. Thank you. Who else?
And I have the second one, but yeah, and the second one is a bigger one. So I told to Stephanie when we worked together, I was an army guy. So for the moment, in the hospital, they are calling from doctors, people in the healthcare, but also in the military in Belgium, they are just calling for reserve. And I had it in my head since years, but I didn't want to come back in the army. But now the situation is totally different. So I'm intent to apply because they're really asking for reserve guys, and I will propose myself into the transition cell. They have in the Belgian army a transition cell to transform the army, and they started in January, but they didn't know nothing about the coronavirus. And I will propose myself to go in this cell to prepare the day after. And I will make the bridge with my leadership skills and the coaching skills. And I think it can go very fast.
Yes. So I love that because it means that you're strong enough in your entrepreneur's mindset that you can take the risk to go back into a place that is not connected to entrepreneurship, but still offer your services. So this is what I want. So this is really the kind of flexibility that I want you guys to have. I have my business, I have my services, I know what I can offer, but what can I do tomorrow that can bring me money, even if it's not connected to the long term? So what I'm asking you is really to be like on two levels, right? One is I'm keeping my vision, I'm keeping my long term, I know where my business is going, I know where I want to take it, but tomorrow, what can I do? I would say like fast and dirty, like what can I do really fast that can bring me money tomorrow? I want to hear from Chava on this. Where's Chava? Yeah, Chava, what can you do tomorrow that can bring money? Because the times have changed.
Okay, I'll preface this by saying that the truth is I don't know that the market for what I offer has changed that much.
Okay.
People need, if anything, people are putting out content in all sorts of new ways and new content and turning content more. The reason that my business has slowed down is not because of not because the market needs something different, but because I just don't have the windows with kids at home to onboard new clients.
Okay. So this is your 50 ways here are, how can you do it with the kids at home? This is what we want to, this is, right. So you're being creative is not necessarily, from the outside perspective of the industry or the companies or your clients, but from your perspective.
Like, right. There's new opportunities out there. I think there's some really cool things that people might be interested in that they weren't interested in before, but I haven't figured out how to find the time to make them happen.
Okay. So this is where your creativity needs to go then. It's finding the time.
So my one, so right now I think my goal is, anyway, this was where I was hoping to grow, but now I'm going to do it faster, is to move, it's a little ironic, but move the business away from being all me.
Okay.
Try to change my mindset and change the client's mindset, so that my one employee can it's sort of take on more on her own.
Okay, so this means that your list here is not changing. You still have the same ways to make money, but the way you're going to do it is going to be through people doing it for you. So creating the systems around it, creating the delegation around it, creating the mindset around it. But it's not here.
And a big one is changing just the marketing messaging.
Right, and the marketing messaging. Okay, very good. Okay, very good. So let's go to the next, because I want you guys to go into your breakout rooms. I'm really excited about putting you in breakout rooms. It's going to be fun. The second exercise was your Born to Do business roadmap. Those of you who don't know what it looks like, it was this. It's the second tab on your spreadsheet. You can look at it. And you were supposed here to put numbers and rank the projects in each category that you felt that you still needed to work on. And the idea was to identify three. So what I wanted you to do here for this exercise, to identify the three categories where you will need to focus on in the next quarter. So what I mean by categories is the top here. Okay, so do you need to focus on mindset, strategy, and marketing, or what are the three categories that you need to focus on in the next quarter? So for this, I would like to hear from Tamar. I didn't hear from you for a while. So what would be the three categories that you would have to focus on in Q2? And then we'll go down into the projects, right? But now we're talking about the big categories.
Mine is systems and operations.
Yes, number one. Mm-hmm.
Number one, and also HR and team.
2, okay.
And marketing.
In Q2 until June.
Yeah.
Okay. Marketing. Meaning preparing for marketing or going out there and doing marketing?
No, preparing, seeing
preparing.
I want to go. It's before
okay.
marketing, let's say.
Okay, good, very good. So you have your three areas where you want to focus. Okay, Michal. Yeah, what are the three? You can do it now if you didn't do it until now. Yeah, no, we need to unmute yourself first.
There you go.
Yes.
Same.
Okay.
It was system and operations.
1.
HR team.
2.
And it was marketing. It was like marketing and sales was like the same thing.
You mean like selling until June or preparing for sales?
Just more, it comes more to do with systems and operations is what we talked about is creating.
So guys, let's, for the purpose of this exercise, when you want to work on the systems of marketing, then it's in systems. When you're working on marketing, it's actually marketing. Okay, so if you want to prepare for marketing, then it's in systems. If you want to prepare for sales, then it's systems, right? So Tamar, I think what you meant was systems. And in terms of marketing, it means that really going out there, not just thinking about the marketing. Or then if not, then you
business strategy,
Or strategy, yeah. And then strategy means repositioning, means knowing. Okay, Wendy, I haven't heard from you. What are the three categories that you feel you need to focus on in Q2?
Okay, rare for me to be quiet. I agree. Okay, so I did the business roadmap, and I did it all for all the categories. And interestingly, the things that I mean, maybe I'm not interpreting this quite correctly, because would you expect for the lowest scores to be the things that I should be focusing on?
So this is the thing. It should be overall in your business, the things that you need to focus on, but it could be that within the existing context, you need to readapt. Meaning, you know, if you would be in a regular situation, then you would say, yeah, I need to work on this. But in terms of what are we going through now, we can't just, you know, block ourselves. So we know that the Q2 has to be the things and that you're lower on and that makes sense.
Okay, so I'm going to base it partly on the scores, but actually more intuitively. And in that case, it's definitely for Q2, it's definitely business strategy, and it's definitely systems and operations. And I too would be, and I would put marketing. I would have put marketing in there along with the other people who've mentioned it. But if you're saying that marketing is actually Well, no, I would put marketing in there because I think I am doing some of that activity now.
Marketing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I would say
listen,
business strategy and systems and operation.
Yeah, you can definitely do some marketing. It's just that if you want to create the structure of the marketing or the system of the marketing, then it's in systems. Marketing means going out there. Okay, great. You have your 3. Great. Everyone else, you have your 3 because this is going to help us in our goal plan in the last spreadsheet. Okay, the 3 main directions. Then within those 3 main directions, let's say systems for those of you who chose systems, or strategy for those of you who chose strategy. Then within this, you're going to find what
You just muted yourself, Natalie. You're muted.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
You're on mute, Natalie.
Yeah. Somebody hold up a sign.
It's frozen.
Maybe she can't see us.
No, it's frozen.
Let's put it on. Oh, here she is. Okay. Natalie, you're mute. You're frozen, I think.
Oh,
okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So it was my AirPods that didn't last didn't survive the hour and a half. So I'm gonna, can you hear me good without the AirPods? It's good? Okay, perfect. Okay, so what I was saying is the goal here is to have the 3 main directions, because when we're gonna, just jumping for a second here, when we're gonna go here in this, you have it in your spreadsheet, okay? It's the goal plan tab. This is where you're gonna put your 3, okay? So for those of you who said strategy, systems, and hiring, for example, those are the 3 that I want you to choose. Now within here, within those lines, it's going to be the project. So let's say in systems, it could be marketing systems, hiring systems, service delivery systems, onboarding new client systems, right? Because systems is too big. We want to decide which projects we're going to focus on. And marketing can be newsletter, Facebook ads, and weekly mailings. Okay, so those can be your projects. And if you're having hiring, it could be job description, it could be delegating, and operation manuals, right? So we're talking about the 3 main directions. If I'm going back here, the 3 main directions that we want to go, and then we're going to go more deep into the different projects. Okay, raise your hand if you all have your 3 directions, 3 main categories. I want to see everyone's hands because then we need to move on. I see Michelle, I don't see. Yes, everyone. Okay, Marlene is not here. I can't see everyone. Sarah, we have the 3. Yeah, Deborah? We don't. Why?
I just didn't have time to do
it's
it.
okay, but now you can decide now. You can decide now. You don't have to. Okay, so what are the 3 if you have to decide now?
Would be service delivery, because I have new products.
Yes.
Business strategy.
Yes.
And sales.
Okay, very good. Debbie, we haven't heard from you. What are the 3 ones? I don't know if you had time because you got the spreadsheet pretty late. But if you had to choose now, what would be the 3 directions that you would want to take your business?
So I just did it now while you were talking.
Yes, right.
Business strategy.
1.
Systems and operations, and marketing.
2. Amazing. Perfect. Okay. Now this, guys, is supposed to give you clarity. Okay. The goal here is not to be overwhelmed. The goal is to say, okay, those are the 3. And by the way, we're not going to do everything in marketing in 1 quarter, right? We're going to choose which projects we're going to focus on within that category. Okay. So everyone, you have your 3. That's perfect. Okay. Now we're going to work with our ABs. Let's just check that everyone is here. Michal and Tamar, you're here. Michelle and Marlene, you're here. Ani and Hannah Valeria is not here. So I'm going to put Ani and Debbie. Is that okay? Because Hannah Valeria is not here. So I'm going to put Ani and Debbie together, Stephanie and Gregory and Wendy and Chava. Okay? So what's going to happen is like this. I'm going to click on a button. And by the way, guys, those of you who are using Zoom, this is a great way for you to experience this so that you can also do it with your clients if you have calls on Zoom, and you can see how this is working. So I'm going to put you in breakout rooms. So I'm clicking on the button. You don't have to do anything. What you have to do is you're going to see a pop-up that says, do you accept to be in breakout rooms? And you choose yes. What a surprise. You choose yes. And then while you be in your breakout rooms, I'm going to give you time. You're going to take like 2 minutes each or 3 minutes each to talk. Or if we can, I'm hoping, can we go until 12, everyone? Is that okay if we go until 12 for everyone? Okay. So if we can go until 12, then I'll give you 5 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes each, and then I'll send you a message where I will, she's right. Anastasia just noticed that Deborah and Sarah is missing. Sorry. So I copy pasted and sorry, let me change that. Deborah and Sarah, I love you. Don't think that I forgot you. You were in my heart, of course. Sarah, okay. Thank you, Anastasia. Okay. So you see, you think that you're prepared, and then obviously you forget something. Of course, the little heart is essential. So we are going to go into those rooms, and then you're going to see a message, a pop-up, a notification message on top of your screen. I'm going to give you this notification 2 minutes before the end, and then I'll close the breakout room. No, and then you have to click on leaving the breakout room. So when I say in 2 minutes, you have to click on leaving the breakout room, and then we'll all go back together in the main room. Okay, is that clear for everyone? Yes, I can see everyone say yes like this, so I can say yes, 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 yes. Okay, great. Okay, so now what do we do in the breakout rooms? That's what I want you to work on. So you have this spreadsheet, this tab in your spreadsheet. Okay, so what I want you to go through with your AB, with the 3 main categories that you've chosen. So your categories should be here, and the name of projects should be here. So if you've done it before, you have it, you just need to choose them. If you haven't done it before, it's the time to do it now with your AB, and to say, okay, I have my 3 categories. I have systems and processes, hiring, and strategy. Let's say those are my 3 categories. So now is the time to put the name of the projects that you have next to each category. You should have done it before. If you didn't, it's okay, you can do it now. What I want you to do, which is important here, is the priority and the quarter. That's what I want you to help each other. So you take 4 minutes each. We're going to give you 8 minutes altogether. And you say, okay, I have in marketing, I have this project, this project, this project, this project, but this one I want to do in Q2, this one in Q3, this one in Q4. The idea here is for you to have all the projects that you have per category on this spreadsheet, and then decide what are you going to start doing in Q2. And this is why I want you to have the help of your AB, because it's going to be easier to do, if you go with it. So you say, in marketing, I want to do Facebook ads, I want to send out a newsletter, and I want to, start talking to do some networking. So I can do all 3 in Q2. So for Facebook ads in Q2, I'm just going to contact someone. For newsletter, I'm going to start with a banner. And for networking, I'm going to register into online networking groups. And then you have your specific projects for Q2. And everything else is going to go Q3, 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 or Q4 even. Okay? The reason we want to do this is that we want to be realistic, so that when we get to that spreadsheet, and this is where you want to put it here, once you've done all the Qs here, you take everything that's in Q2 in this column, and then you come here and you say, okay, in systems, I want to work on 3 systems in Q2. In marketing, I want to do those 3 projects. In strategy, I want to look at my competition, I want to look at the market, and I want to make phone calls, surveys to my existing clients. Okay, is that clear the way I'm doing it? Let me stop share so I see everyone. Yeah, who has a question, please? Yes, Tamar.
So actually what we're basing on this is our existing, what we have already, not what you said.
No, because if, for example, you want to rethink your business according to that, then you go with strategy. And
Okay.
one of your, by the way, guys, I think most of you, I mean, I'm not going to look at each business now, but I think most of you should have business strategy there in one of your projects, right? Because what we're going through now is going to require from all of us a strategy, meaning like how do we prioritize? What do we put first? And so if it is in strategy, then it's about
watching my competition, knowing how I can manage my time, knowing what is the market happening, what is the trend, what is the new standards, right? This is strategy. Surveys, questionnaires, conversation with people, right? All this is new strategy. So raise your hand if you have strategy in your projects. Everyone should have strategy. Yeah, I like it. Great, perfect. Deborah, this is the goal planning spreadsheet. Okay, not the financial one, the first one that I sent, okay? Okay, so the idea is taking your 3 main categories, going through all the projects that you have in each of those categories, choosing the Q2 ones, and putting them in the goal planning spreadsheet, okay? Are you ready to go into breakout rooms with your lover? Not talking about other things on the breakout room, okay? I can check on you, but you have to, okay? Because then I really want us to, we won't be on time, obviously, but okay. I think this is lost. Okay, so I'm putting you in breakout rooms, and so I'm not gonna keep on sharing so I can see you all, but this is where I want you to be. I'm gonna show you, okay, so those are the 3 main categories that we spoke about. In each category, those are the projects that we want to focus on. For those of you who have a team, is who is going to be in charge. Maybe you don't have a team, but you have outsourcing, or you have freelancers, or you have, let's say I have to work on my website, then the project lead can be my web developer. Okay, it doesn't have to be someone I hire. It could be someone that I work with. By when? I want you to give a date. You know, is it end of April? Is it end of May? Is it end of June? You can still be a little bit vague, not a specific date, unless you have a specific deadline. And for those of you who work with Asana, which is the tool that we strongly suggest in the program, then you can translate those projects into action items, right? So the idea is that you have tasks, because in each project you have a list of tasks, right? So if, for example, in here I have, you know, strategy, and here I have survey, well, my task is creating, you know, creating the list of questions, creating the survey in a tool, sending out the survey, sending a reminder, scheduling a call with each person, having a system to collect the answers, right? Those are all my tasks. So when I sit down tomorrow morning and the day after and 2 weeks, I have a whole list of things that I have to do. And I took the time to decide in advance what to focus on. So it's not like, oh, what should I do today or tomorrow? It's about, I know exactly what I need to focus on. And for those of you who want to take it a step further, but don't do it if this is overwhelming, it's just if you want to do it, those are the KPIs we spoke about, the key performance indicators. So if, let's say, you want to do a survey, like I said, for the strategy, so the key performance indicator is having 10 people to ask. So you feel that your project is really performing well once you have 10 answers. So you decide from today, what is the criteria, the metrics, the number, the goal that you want to reach that will feel like you've done what you were supposed to do. So if you want to send out a newsletter, is, you know, a KPI can be sending it once a week. If you want to work on your systems, a KPI can be having it done, you know, having my onboarding new clients, having the operation manual done for the onboarding new clients. Okay, so think about how can you check yourself to say, I've done it. Okay, so we're going to use the rest of the time to go through everyone, so you can say, here are my 3 categories, and here are some projects, don't go all of them if it's too long, that I'm including in my categories. And listen, if you don't have all the answers, it's fine. You can continue after. You can continue with your A/B, continue by yourself. You know what to do. I just want us to close this session with having clarity on at least 3 categories and 1 or 2 projects per category that you're committing to yourself first. And then you have your A/B on the call, who should be able to bring you accountability on this and say, remember you said you would focus on that. And then if in 2 weeks you come and you say, oh, I just had an idea of a new product, you're like, no, refocus, okay? Refocus every time, okay? So let me stop the sharing, because you should have that so I can see all of you. Stop the sharing. Okay, who wants to start? And let's do it by ABs, okay? Which couple wants to start?
We can start.
Yes. Okay, Marlene and Michelle, where's me? Oh, Michelle is here. Okay. So Marlene, what were the 3 main categories, focus, and 1 or 2 projects in each of the categories?
So for me, it was mindset, strategy, systems, and business strategy.
Okay, mindset, systems, and business strategy. Great.
Yeah.
Give me 1 project in each.
Well, for the mindset, it's about fighting the fears. So I don't know. I haven't decided yet. The strategy is fine-tuning my initial business plan and working on my newsletter and posts.
Okay.
And that's systems. So strategy is fine-tuning my business plan, and the systems is
the newsletter, creating the system around the newsletter.
Exactly. The client, the news. Yeah.
Perfect. I love it. Okay, perfect. And then it's creating tasks that go next to each of those projects.
Yes.
Perfect. Love it. Okay. Michelle.
Okay, so for me, it was something that you and I had discussed in our last session, which was building up my WhatsApp group, so getting that going.
Which category is this going into?
This is going to go into systems, I think, would be the one. Oh, no, well, I don't know.
Would be more service delivery, I think.
Service delivery, yeah, I think so.
Service delivery, so it's like really being in connecting with your existing clients, right?
Correct.
Service delivery.
And also possibly even reaching out to past clients, which I've had.
Okay, service delivery, okay, perfect. Okay, that's one.
So that is the first one, which I'm going to focus on the main thing on.
Right.
And then was systems, which is back office, which is getting that up and running properly.
Okay.
And organized in a way properly. And then later on in Q2, I want to also work on the landing page and the Facebook.
Which is marketing.
Which is marketing.
So you're keeping marketing for Q3.
Correct.
And you're writing it now in your spreadsheet, so that next strategic planning day we can go back and say, this is what I had planned for Q3.
Correct.
Okay, very good. So this is the purpose. This is for everyone, guys. The purpose here is that everyone you have in your mind, I have to work on my landing page. It's like, oh no, this is Q3. I have to work on, oh no, this is Q3. So you're like, you're coming, it's not like overwhelm. This is, I decided to do this in Q2. This is in Q3. So I don't have to be all the time in this overwhelm. Okay. I know exactly when I'm doing what. Great. Okay. And what is the third one?
And the third thing was the VA, which we've spoken about
hiring.
Before. We're hiring. So it's hiring and also looking possibly for a teacher for September. Another teacher.
Very good.
For September.
Okay, perfect. So you have your focus project.
Yeah.
Those of you who are using Asana, everything we're saying now is going into Asana, so that when you sit down and you work on your business, you know exactly what to start from. Perfect. Very good. Can we clap for Marlene and Michelle? Yeah, thank you. Okay, we can't give hugs, but we can clap. Or we can go like this. Okay, who is the second couple who wants to go? Yes, Ani and Debbie.
Debbie, yeah.
Please. Yes, Ani, go ahead. Wait, we need to unmute you. I can't do it. You need to do it.
So in the second quarter, what I want to be working on, addressing Corona, is looking at how I could do something online. And what I want to do is talk to other guides, because I have a feeling that this would be something better done with a group of people, because I have so many unknowns.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there's a little bit of strength in numbers. Do we talk to assisted living facilities? Do we talk to schools, community centers? I have no idea, and I feel like it's too much one person.
What category would you put this on, Ani?
Strategy.
Very good. Okay, so that is also matching the expectation, meaning Q2 is for strategy. It doesn't mean that in a month from now I need to be ready and online and operating. It means that I'm giving myself a quarter to think about it, and then in Q3 I can implement
Yeah.
Okay, so it's lowering the expectation. Q2 is about the strategy on how can I go online. Okay, and perfect. What is the number 2?
Number 2 is I know that I spend way too much time on my itineraries, and I've actually been thinking about it. And on my calendar for tomorrow is doing exercises. Real short, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make bullet points for each city, so that when I have to do something, I can just grab it.
Okay, so this is creating a system around itinerary, and this is in the category systems and operations. Perfect. Number 3
is for me is marketing, and I haven't spoken about it with Debbie yet. I'm trying to deal with something with MailChimp, but you and I can talk about that separately.
So it's about systems also, but systems in marketing, creating marketing systems in marketing around the newsletter. Perfect. You all set. Amazing. Love it. Okay, Debbie, what are your 3 things?
Okay, I'm not sure if I did it right because I feel still like it's a bit overwhelming, all these tables.
It's okay.
But I'll tell you what I have, and then you can tell me what
just focus on the 3 things you want to focus on in Q2.
Okay, so I wrote business strategy, rethinking Airbnb for local Israelis for bidud or for divorce.
Yes. You mean divorce that happened during bidud?
Yes, or as a result of this being stuck at home with your spouse. People need to get out of the house.
That's being very creative.
I got a phone call last night about that. That's why, seriously.
Wow. Okay. Yo, wow. Okay, well, listen.
And I've gotten literally tens of phone calls for people looking for a place for bidud.
No, bidud is isolation, Gregory. It's in confinement. But bidud, I understand. Isolation, I understand. But divorce?
Someone called me last night. He said, I have to get out of my house.
Yeah. Well, listen. Yeah, I understand. Listen, I mean, you can't go to a hotel anymore. So what are you gonna? Can't go to your mother.
So after we finish, I'll call him back and see what happens.
Yeah. Okay. So business strategy, amazing. Number 2.
Number 2 is the book tour. If I postpone it or do it online, or what do I do with it? I don't know.
So that's also a strategy question, right?
Okay. And then so what do you want to say? You want to say something about it? No. And then the last thing
under something about it?
No strategy. No, I mean, I didn't know if I cut you off. No. And also I had an idea for a new product, which I thought of for a long time, which is having something online because, which is to do like high-end albums. So I started learning the program in the past 2 weeks because I have something that I always wanted to do so that I can offer it online in situations like this. At least I have something else.
Amazing. So service offering. That, which is, by the way, it's a very good idea. I also thought if I have I have a list of things I want to do if I have extra time, and sorting out through my pictures is a project. I'm sure a lot of people have that. Right. So perfect. Okay, love it. Great. Is that giving you clarity, focus? Do you feel like this is like the things that you're going to focus on? Yes.
Yeah, I think that it's enough for me to focus on those 3.
Oh yeah.
Strategy.
Yeah, that's why we also want to manage expectations, right? It's like, okay. Perfect. Love it. Can we get a clap from everyone? Yeah, Debbie and Ani. Great job, guys. Okay, who is the next couple in line? Okay, Tamar and they're so cute. Tamar and Michal raised their hands at the same time. This is synchronicity, guys. Okay, Tamar, go ahead.
Okay, so systems.
Yes.
One is the client file, I'll call it, that I'm working on.
Great.
And other thing would be Asana. I would like to learn about it, start using it.
Amazing. You're going to love it.
The second
big category,
is business strategy.
Yes.
So I would like to see what marketing I want to use or could help me more, or where am I going with the marketing? So it's in the planning stage. So it's not the marketing, it's the business strategy.
Yes.
And also in the business strategy, I would like to reevaluate new ways, new revenue streams. That's actually what we talked today, and see, are there additional things that I can do, other things, parallel things, and that I need to brainstorm.
Amazing.
And the third category, I think I would like to look at finances. Step back and see, okay, where am I in my business? And yeah, because I don't actually know what's happening too much.
Yeah.
That's actually a good time, I think, to
It's
see
a perfect time.
what
It's
can I.
perfect time, yes.
Yeah.
Systems and finances, perfect time to put in place some systems, to take the time to look back and to, you know, start good habits for the future. It's a perfect timing. I love it. It's perfect. Great. Thank you, Tamar. Michal. Yeah.
So this is my first time here in this whole thing. So don't worry, it's overwhelming with the worksheets. So something that keeps coming up is I don't have a CRM. I don't have a list of all my past clients, all my vendors. So I know I need to do that. I just don't know in what, what form to do it in. Is it MailChimp? Is it
Right.
a CRM? That's I'm actually where
Systems. Yeah.
Systems. Right.
Systems.
So
Perfect.
exactly.
Perfect. Perfect timing. Perfect timing to do it. Love it. Yes. Okay.
Sorry. When I talk, it cough.
Yeah. Sorry.
I don't have corona. I have no idea I have corona. They won't come test me. I haven't had a temperature, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just in be good.
It's okay. We just wish that you feel good. That's what we want.
Operations manual. We've talked about it.
Yes.
It's coming down to sales.
Yes.
All of that.
Yes.
Which is connected to sales systems. So I put
very good. Perfect. Love it.
And I actually put actually all my clients in Asana. I created, but now I actually need to update all the information so that I'm up to date.
So we have systems with CRM and operation manuals. What is number 2?
Number 2 is business strategy. I've actually never done one.
Right.
So I actually want to do one for where we are right now.
Yes.
Debbie, I will love to plan your book tour virtually. Okay. I was like, literally when you said it, I was like, oh my God, that is the next step for event planners.
That's why it's great that you're connecting, guys. Yeah. Okay. This is why it's for all these connections. Okay. Amazing.
Everyone's saying the next stage for event planners is online events.
Of course.
Is the next. So to do a business strategy that is for now.
Well, I'm thinking about Ani too, right? Ani is also great. Yeah. Okay. So business strategy number 2, number 3.
Finances also tomorrow night. We've never talked about it before. This is the first time literally it came up.
Aren't you grateful that we have this crisis? I mean, when can you do your finances if we don't have
shift, not crisis.
Shift.
Not shift. I've actually never. I mean, I have the green invoices. Which is
but looking into it.
Perfect. Nothing. I don't know how much and also because of the fact that everything's changing and because I'm not getting my full payments because people can't. Ani understand.
Yeah.
Right?
So perfect timing. Perfect time. And listen, now when you're going to sit down doing your finances, you're not stealing time away from anything because you have decided that this is your main focus. So it's about when I'm doing my finances, I'm actually working on my business. Okay. This is also the mindset that we're working on now. Okay. My decisions is also setting up now my priorities. Okay. So I'm being proactive and deciding. Now the next step, guys, is Asana for those who have it, but also calendar, okay? Creating blocks of time. If I'm deciding to work on my finances, so I block out Monday morning, Tuesday afternoon, whenever it is to work on my finances. So we need to implement, right? The next step is how do I implement, okay? Whatever is on my 3 categories is I go into my calendar, I have kids, I have a lot of things to do, but whenever I have time, I block out my 2 hours for finances, 2 hours for systems, 2 hours for this. I don't have meetings with my clients anymore. I'm going to create meetings with my business. Okay. Perfect. Who is the next couple going on? Yeah. Oh, wow. I love that. Stephanie and Gregory, how they did it together. Okay. Stephanie, ladies first.
Okay. So I have 3 projects. The first one is sorry, just go back to my sheet.
Yes.
So it's focusing on sales because there's a high demand at the moment for online classes. So I need to set up a starter package with a low entry package, basically. Do my newsletter and organize the group lessons.
Okay.
The second project is affiliation.
So is it, sorry to cut you. Is it sales or client or service delivery?
I don't know.
Okay. No, because I'm thinking that you have two aspects here.
What would be the difference? What
Well,
is service?
sales is actually selling it to people, and service delivery is working on the package. And I'm thinking that
Right.
in your expectation, you need to first work on the package. Give yourself time
Right.
to really work on the package before you sell it. So
Right.
just in order for you not to have, let's say at
Right.
the end of the first month, you're like, I didn't sell anything. Well, I spend my time working on the service
Sure.
delivery. Okay?
Right.
So it's
Okay.
important
Yeah.
not to raise the expectation that you're going to have sales if the package doesn't exist yet.
Right.
Okay.
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, I've been spending time in Q1 to create the package, but
Right.
yes,
Okay.
I hear
So
that.
you decide where to put the line, but at least you need this time also to really reorganize your packages.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
The second project is affiliation. The first step would be to find 10 affiliates,
Okay.
and I also want to have like some offer to them, like organize like have some specials for them. Like, so it's more like creating also
Creating
the
offers.
offer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And number 3?
And number 3, systems, just working on my member area.
Yeah.
And also, as we've had more leads in B2C, I need to scale the customer support because Elena is getting overwhelmed with different things to do. And so we have to sit and see how we can make it more
Wendy,
efficiently.
Wendy, wait. I want Wendy to be able to speak. You have to go. Wait. Where is she going?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Stephanie. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I know. So I'm gonna let
but
Wendy go first, and Gregory, I'll let you go after. Is that okay?
It's
Yes?
really not okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean
Stephanie,
to.
so we have the 3 projects. We're
Yep.
good? Yeah, great, perfect. Okay, you too, Chava. Oh no. So let's go. Wendy and Chava.
Okay, incredibly quickly. Systems and operations. I need to do a client database and a CRM. That's very clear. Business strategy. I'm working on a series of videos because I think that, and I don't know what that. Maybe that's partly marketing. Maybe it's business strategy. But I definitely think there's a whole thing about my offer is a visual one, and so videos is going to get me in front of people's. And the third thing really is to look at my onboarding systems. And again, those are the 3 things that I'm going to be working on.
Amazing. I
Yeah,
love it.
So that's
Okay.
me.
Okay, very good.
Chava?
But Chava? Wait, unmute.
Mute. Okay. So I need to, sort of everything within systems, I need to get my website live ASAP. As part of strategy to separate me from the business a little bit.
Right.
I need to have prepared responses to job opportunities, just to speed up the client onboarding process. Ditto for pricing. In terms of delivery, again, systems, I need a task manager, maybe Asana, ideally integrated with a CRM. That would be the best. And in finances, sort of HR, I need to set up some kind of KPIs so that I can be sure that everything else is going to plan.
Love it. Okay, wow, that's a big job that you have in Q2 now. So the next thing you need to do is who is going to take care of your kids?
Well, most of it's yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just 3 months. We can do it.
It's just 3 months. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So if you have to go, I understand. Excited for tomorrow. We'll allocate 3 hours just in case. Yes, I love it. If everyone can allocate 3 hours, I'll have enough content for everyone. So not to worry. It's really for you guys that I made it short because I could stay all day on Zoom. Thank you so much, Chava. Gregory.
So for me, I have finances, business strategy, and marketing. And for the finances, my first goal will be to track my finance and to be more focused on the cost, because for the moment I have no revenue. So that means that it's the time to be focused on my cost and the structure of my cost.
Okay.
And as I discussed with Stephanie, it's also the time to find a software to prepare the facture, to prepare the
invoices,
bill,
yes.
the invoices.
Systems around invoicing.
Exactly. So
yes.
that's the time to do it now.
Perfect.
That's for finances. And for the business strategy, as I told you, it's also the time in Q2 to retake contact with the army and to find, as reservists, if it's possible to find opportunities to expand my knowledge in the corporate toward the army. And so that's feasible in the Q2 because there is a feeling of urgency, and that might be very interesting.
Okay.
And the third theme is marketing, and because the day after all of that, there will be a start again, and it's a good opportunity for me to go to the next level in the International Coaching Federation. There are 4 levels, and I reached the 2nd level. At the 3rd one, I'm about to reach it. So I think it's possible to do it within 3 or 4 weeks, because my case is already quite all right. Yeah.
Amazing! Wow, guys, we have so much work in Q2. Sarah, sorry, I was you didn't have your video on, and Deborah left, but I want to hear you.
Deborah had to go, so I'm just going to say mine very quickly.
For sure.
So my 3 are service delivery, strategy, and sales.
Good.
I'm first of all, how am I going to get the books to the people who are buying them? Okay, so this is
little bird.
Yeah, this is a little complicated that I'm trying to work out, but I'm working on that now, and I'm thinking I should probably just hire Michal to create an online book launch for me, since I can't have one.
Yeah, here we go. Business guys, business. Yes. Amazing.
So,
okay.
In terms of,
1 is book service delivery, 2.
So is strategy. So I'm rethinking a strategy that we originally had talked about, because at the time, a month ago even, I said, you look, therapists don't want to attend an online course. They aren't going to come. And now they are, out of need.
Hallelujah.
Right. So now I want to reintroduce the concept of, I want to reduce the price of the download course that's just a pre-recorded one, and create a structure that is based on a monthly membership that is a weekly live training session for therapists that includes a portion of it that is peer supervision. People can present their cases, and I have to think about, we have to talk about how to price that.
Yes,
so that
definitely. And we're going to go to number 3. So we're just going to go to the title without going into the project. So
number 3 is sales, just selling the stuff that is ready to go, and that's all. So
creating a system around sales first.
Yes. Yeah. So I want to just share Devorah's. We had a really awesome conversation, and she said she's transitioning from offering a lot of free content to paid content. And she said, "Look, it's not me. I don't know how to get people to pay for my thing." I said, "Look, it is you."
I know. I just got into your call when you said that. I know.
It's
perfect.
Her work right now.
The guys, this is why the AB works, okay? Yeah. It's really why it works, because you're helping each other. Okay, right. I want a quick wrap up. I'm happy that tomorrow we'll have more time and we'll be less stressed with time. I want everyone to say one thing that you loved, one thing that you learned, and then I'm going to let you go have lunch and take care of your kids, and tomorrow we'll have more time. So I'm going to start with Michelle by the order of the screen. Michelle, very quick, 1 word, one thing you learned, and one thing you loved.
Well, I learned a lot about how to really go through this time now, take advantage of the opportunity that we have in front of us, and I love the community, and of course the learning that we get from it, and having an AB that really keeps you accountable.
Amazing. Thank you, Michelle. See you tomorrow. I'll give you an update on the timing for everyone. Marlene, you're next on my screen. One thing you learned, one thing you loved. Really quick.
I love the clarity, and I learned that I have plenty of things to do in this downtime.
Amazing. Thank you. Ani, real quick.
I liked having a community where I could articulate the idea swirling in my head.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you. Michal, I know you're on your phone, but you're next on my screen. Are you mute? Wait, yeah. You can unmute yourself, guys.
I am muted. I have a wedding on Friday that I'm trying to organize.
Okay, no problem. So one thing you learned, one thing you loved.
Just like the inspiration. It's like I've been so stuck since this whole shift started and not feeling well and being at home with Oreo. You guys all inspired me. Like, thank you, because I was really stuck. Tamara knows, like, I've just been like really, really struggling for about 2.5 weeks since things started to get canceled. And this, I'm getting emotional, but really, thank you.
Well, this is why we're here.
Flowing. Thank
you. And please remember to reach out, whether it's the Facebook group, whether it's to me, whether it's to your AB. Okay, that's why we're here. Okay, so it's really for those times that we're here. Okay, thank you. Debbie, you're next. One thing you learned, one thing you loved.
I think I learned to be a little more open-minded and try and look at things differently, which is really hard to do by yourself, obviously.
Yeah.
And it was great just to be with people who, aren't feeling sorry for themselves and who want to have a positive reaction to this whole situation.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Tamar, you're next on my screen.
So mostly for me, it's rethinking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, I'm using the time, but for me, it's the rethinking about opportunities or things that I've always wanted to do that might be now the right time. That's one thing. And so I found it very empowering. I could go on a few more hours, and I have the best AB.
Of course.
Oh, so kitschy.
Love story. We're on the love boat here. Okay, thank you, Tamar. Stephanie, you're next.
Yes. So for me, I love the visualization. I think it's always a good exercise, and it pushes you in the long term, in the future. So I think it's was a very good exercise for me. And it's also the realization that things come from within yourself, and that we have the solution to our own challenges.
Yeah, love it. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you. Gregory.
I learned to prioritize again. So I did it in the past. So it was a very good exercise to make priority today. And thank you for that. And I really loved the visualization, and I had very good feeling and new ideas. So that was very inspiring to me to work in the community and to do this exercise of visualization. Thank you.
Love it. Thank you, Gregory. Sarah, last but not least.
I'm glad that I went last. Yeah. So I learned that if I print out the stupid, annoying spreadsheets, that I hate them much less because I can write on them, which has really transformed the whole experience for me.
Yes. You know what? Thank you. I should really suggest that, because I never think about it. But yes,
we're too creative to deal with a spreadsheet. That if I can just write on it and draw things, like, I'm much happier.
You're right. Thank you so much. That's great input. I love it. Thank you.
And I really I love you. I just love you, Natalie. I'm so grateful that you're just here, and that I'm in this program, and that I just found you, and I'm just really, I can't say enough about how much you've changed my life.
Wow, thank you. I'm gonna cry now.
You can cry. The rest of us are crying, so.
Wow, thank you so much, guys. I am so happy that we're doing this together. This is why we have groups and communities. I'm happy. I'm going to send you, I think that we should start 9:30 tomorrow. What do you say? 9:30 is a good time to start. Yeah. And we should really save 3 hours. For those of you who wanted to work on the finances, it's going to be a great opportunity, because tomorrow we're going to start with the finances. So it's about creating new habits. It's about creating, listen, guys, what Sarah says, if you feel overwhelmed with the spreadsheets, just print them out. I love it. Print them out, write down numbers. I like the online because you can change and delete and copy paste. But if you like the, Marlene, please.
Can we talk about, can we make it later and not earlier?
let's see with everyone, because I think it's going to be difficult to go over 12. You know, now it's 12:30 already, so I'd rather start a little bit earlier. Okay, let's talk about this offline. Okay, guys, so enjoy your afternoon. You still have a few hours to work on your financial projections for tomorrow. Don't worry if you don't get it all done. My goal is to give you habits, okay? To start giving you habits, frameworks, tools, so that we can all, you know, get our finances down. You know what? I'll put a poll on the Facebook group for the times tomorrow, so that everyone can say what's best for you. I'm flexible. I just want to have enough time to be able to give you amazing content, and I wanted to be mindful about the kids, but I think that this is important. Where do we have the financial projections? It's the second spreadsheet. Debbie, Anastasia sent you an email with all the links to the spreadsheets and the video recordings and all the
one for tomorrow. It's
yeah.
A different one. Okay.
Yeah, you have in the email, you have spreadsheet number 1, spreadsheet number 2. If you can find it, you can ask.
Okay, I got it.
Great, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank
Bon appétit. Enjoy your lunch. Enjoy your kids.
Thank you,
tomorrow.
Natalie.
I'll post the times on Facebook, and we'll decide what time. Bye, everyone.
Okay,
bye.
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 Bye. Sending you love. Bye-bye.